What's up, y'all? It's Ashley.
I'm Fee.
It's Melanie.
And Cody here. And you've tapped into
The Mama's Den.
All right, Mama's Den family. What up?
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, girls.
Hello.
What's been going on? Since I saw you last
This
week.
rain.
Rain.
Ugh.
Disciplining kids.
Gross.
Ooh, disciplining kids.
It's
Child.
gonna rain on your
I've
head.
been traveling too much to discipline my
You
children.
have been
I've
traveling.
been giving
you
them
have.
cupcakes and gummy candy just because.
You know
Oh,
what? Lucky
bless
them.
your heart.
Not the guilt sugar.
No, just like they ask, I say yes. I've only been around for an hour or two.
Oh my God.
gotta
Sound like
get
a
points.
grandma. It
You
sound
gotta
like
get
a
points.
grandmother.
Yeah.
For real.
Not you
Tapping
be-
into the grandma energy.
Or
Say
the
yes
daddy.
for everything.
The daddy you don't live with energy.
You know what?
Oh, that too. That too.
All
My
right.
dad used to say yes to everything too.
Oh my gosh.
I
Shout
love
out
my
to my
daddy. He used to
daddy.
say yes to everything too. And I live with
Same.
him.
And you
I
live
love you,
with him.
daddy.
Aw.
Well, I don't have that experience, guys. I'm just kidding. I
Wait,
love my
can I
dad.
tell
We
you
have a
guys
beautiful
like
relationship
prime
now.
difference between my mom and my dad? My mom was the mom who, like, if we went somewhere and I was like, "Can I, like, will you buy me this?" And like, she would buy it and then be like, "You better say thank you." Right?
my gosh.
My dad, I'd be like, "Thank you." He'd be like, "Cody, I am your father. It is my responsibility to take care of you." Like, he would get
Wow.
mad if
Your
I said
mom's a
thank
Capricorn,
you.
though, isn't she?
Yeah.
Well, you better say
You
thank
better
you.
say thank you.
Sounds right to me.
No, my mom's Aries and she's Caribbean, so we wasn't getting nothing. Mom, can Mom, can I get some water? Swallow your spit. Mom, I'm thirsty. Swallow your spit.
Oh, my mom was
Go
like
to
that too,
sleep.
but we were poor.
Listen, I have immigrant parents. We were poor to her. We did not, even if we were poor, we acted like we were poor. That's the thing. I never even knew. I never really actually knew because my parents just always lived so frugally.
That sounds like the immigrant way.
just-
That's Chia. Chia acts like
yeah.
he's poor. He could have $1 million in his bank account. He'll be like, we ain't got no money.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm the same though.
Yeah.
Jared, between me and Jared, like I'll literally be like, I'm gonna make sure we will always be okay. Jared's gonna be like, balls to the wall, let's go,
Same.
let's spend the money, we got it. I'll be like, hey, where's the rainy day? Because it's raining right now. Okay,
Listen.
so I very much am like my parents, and I'm grateful for that.
That is good. That's a good woman, Savannah.
But the crazy thing is, nobody was struggling that much to where none of us had running water, y'all.
Oh,
Why
no.
did they tell us to drink our spit?
Girl,
I'm like, when I told Keisha
Because
one
y'all
time,
was asking for water.
no, it's because we were out. It's like if we were out.
oh,
in the
like
world,
out. I was
yeah.
like,
Right.
why
Oh,
did
yeah.
they do this
Effort
to
to
us?
get
If we were,
water
oh no,
for
and
your
if I
little
was, and if I
mind
was
self.
at home, my mom's favorite line was "Drink some water,
Oh,
and get
yeah.
to your bed."
Girl.
Drink
Girl,
some water, get to your
If
bed.
I asked for any food after dinner time, it was definitely swallow your
Kitchen
spit or drink
closed.
water.
Drink water.
There was
Kitchen's
no
closed.
extra. But like,
And
go
don't
to
pee in
bed.
the bed.
Yeah. Well,
Kitchen's
my mom
closed.
Sounds
tried
like
to cut
me
the
this
water off, but
weekend.
I still peed in the bed till I was 12. So there's that.
Oh,
When you say until you were 12, do you mean like regularly?
I mean, at least like once or twice a week.
dang.
That's regular.
I had plastic on my mattress.
It's a-
I
it's a
couldn't
real-
help it. I didn't stop peeing in bed until I started my period, and the doctor literally told her that. And then when I got older, when they went to check to see if I had endometriosis, they found out that there is a piece of mucus lining that's between your bladder and your nerve, and mine is completely gone. So that is why I peed in the bed, because when I was little, my body, like, there was no sensation to stop it. So there's nothing that is like, hey, hold your pee. It just, I gotta
So
pee.
what
Wow.
gives you the sensation as a grown
But
up?
somehow when I started my period, it created like, you know, like when you have your period, you have like eggs and all this other stuff, and it created some kind of barrier
Yeah.
that allowed my bladder to stop being triggered so quickly.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
I know.
That's very interesting.
So if your
The
kid
more
pees
you
in the
know.
bed, it might be they really might not be able to help it.
But it's actually more common than
Very
than
common.
I'm learning now, with having my own children and talking to friends. Learning a lot of friends had problems being in bed for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
sucked my thumb.
you
I don't know about-
did.
What? Forever. That's why I had to get braces and all the things.
Oh,
Forever. I think until I was like 12. It was
Wow.
definitely
You
a
were
coping
not that
mechanism.
girl.
Yeah, I'm like, my mom, they weren't there. I
Oh.
was,
No,
like,
but you know what's
terrified.
crazy? I'm gonna tell you this.
Yeah.
So I have a friend that I didn't even know this. She told me that she used to suck her fingers, like until she was older, and now she has a daughter who was born with the exact sucks her fingers.
Is it
the
these
sa-
two?
Yes, it's the
You
same-
know,
was.
Asia used to suck those fingers and rub her ear.
But
That's how she
no,
went
but
to
the
sleep.
craziest thing is
Used
it's
to
the
twist her
same
hair.
hand and the same fingers. The baby was born like this,
So
which is so crazy that like that just genetically, psychologically passed down
Yeah.
to her child, which is like
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't know if I twisted my hair, but Azara and Asia, that's how they used to put themselves to sleep. Asia sucked her fingers, Azara didn't, but they both would take a patch of hair and twist it. And Tata does this. This is how she puts herself to sleep. She just keeps rubbing.
She does that all
she
day.
does, she does the
Yes,
Elvis
yes.
Presley.
She just keeps going like this as she's laying in
hilarious.
bed.
Does she have to do it or you have to do it?
She don't want me to do it, girl.
Yeah.
She's a Sagittarius. She's like, I will rub my own hair.
So
She is
funny.
fun.
Yeah, she does not want us rubbing her back and stuff. She doesn't like that. She'll hold my hand. She'll be like, Mommy, hold my hand, and I have to hold her hand to sleep. but
Yeah.
she'll like rub her hair while she's holding my hand.
And
Yes.
she will also sit at your feet while you're on the toilet.
Yeah,
Girl.
on my potty squatty
On your
squatty
potty
potty.
squatty.
Girl, that
You
I
have a
said,
squatty
child.
potty?
Yeah,
I know
girl.
you sent
Honestly,
the picture, but I
everyone
didn't see
should.
it.
Oh, I
What's
live by
funny is I
that.
was on the phone with you when she came into the bathroom.
I told you
The
I'll
next
call
thing
you
I know,
back.
there's like photos of Ashley in the bathroom.
I was
with
like, wait,
Tata.
I'll call you back, Cody, because I had to use the restroom and it wasn't like a pee. And then Tata came in and she sat right on my potty squat. My legs are up like this.
Yeah, she's
her
trying to get
head's
back
right
in.
here.
She trying to go back
Girl.
in. I
was
told
like,
you
this is
she would go back in
disgusting.
if she could.
I told you when I'm on my cycle, she hands me pads. Didn't I tell y'all that?
Yeah.
She comes in the bathroom and she'll be like, ew, blood. And then she'll turn around and go
She
get
said, I know
a
what to do with this.
pad and give me one.
Aw, she said, don't be letting it all hang out.
She's cute.
We by the way, I would just like to say we randomly covered a lot just now. Like we were just like
We can't help it, you know? 7 days
Motherhood.
apart. What else is there?
We're gonna talk about everything.
Okay,
what
but
are we
wait.
talking about today?
Well, what are you guys watching the Oscars? Are you Oscars watchers?
I am, definitely.
Yeah.
Me and Amir are, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
After that Will Smith slap, yeah, I watched them Oscars.
Was that
Anything
last
happen
year, or
at
was that
any
the year
given
before?
I
time.
think it was 2 years ago.
Doesn't it feel like yesterday?
Yeah, everything
Yes.
feels
You
like
sound
that.
like
Why
Chris
you sound
Rock.
like Chris
Why you sound like Chris Rock just now?
She embodied the spirit.
Doesn't it feel like yesterday?
Oh, man. Oh, poor both of them. That was sad.
know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still
No.
sad. That's why it feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
But wait, so we have our black nominees.
Yes.
We're rooting for everybody black.
We're always rooting for everybody
I
black.
always rooting for everybody.
So for
black.
anybody listening, we need to just acknowledge it because sometimes we hear these things and we just don't know specifically. So we want to shine a little bit of a spotlight. Here we have Danielle Brooks. We know her, of course, from Orange is the New Black, but but she's nominated for Best Actress in a Supporting Role for The Color Purple.
I love
Hey.
that.
Yeah. We have Sterling K. Brown, who's also a friend of Black Love.
Hey.
Best Actor in a Supporting Role for American Fiction. Did you guys watch
Yes,
that?
Yes, girl.
He deserves that
So
nomination.
good.
I have to watch it.
So
Jared
good.
watched it the other night. I
It's a
missed
great
it.
movie.
Okay, I got to get on. Coleman Domingo, Best Actor in a Leading Role for Rustin.
I know that's right.
Jeffrey Wright, incredible actor. Best Actor in a Leading Role for American Fiction as well. And is it Divine Joy Randolph? Let me make sure I said Divine Joy Randolph. Best Actress in a Supporting Role for The Holdovers.
Now that I haven't seen, but I think it's a comedy. I think
love
it's
that
funny.
name.
I want to watch it.
Okay,
Divine
I may
Joy.
be wrong.
What a
But
good
yes,
name.
shout out to them.
Five nominees.
okay.
Listen,
And
more.
that's what's up.
More black people, more rooting.
I
Yeah.
love that Coleman Domingo is also, but I wonder, like, I wish, okay, this is like a sidetrack, but I wish that when they would not announce like black nominees that are also Afro-Latino, like I wish that they would also say that too, because
Who's the they in this scenario?
the people, the public, like I noticed this happened. It was, I don't remember the website, but they released all the like Latino actresses and actors that were nominated, and they left him off the list, and then everybody blazed them,
Yeah.
and then they added him. So a lot of times they'll leave like Afro-Latinos off of lists.
Really?
Yes, like what these Latino publications, anyone that's brown, dark skinned, they act like,
It's true.
and even Haitians, like a lot of them are Latino, so like they have to be like very mindful of that. But anyways, I just want to shout him out because I know that that's
Shout out,
also
shout
very
out.
important to him and his culture.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
hate that people deny that from him. Like he's black, but he's also Latino.
Well, it's
Yeah.
not just denying it. Sometimes people are doing things through their lens. I'm not defending them.
No,
at
fair.
all,
That's
but it's
good.
like they have to be called on it because there's
Yes.
a lot of publications that like Latin is like Spanish, Mexican
Right.
only.
Mhm.
Right.
And they ignore
Yeah.
the Afro piece.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just, you know, so
Yeah.
folks have to be
Or-
called on it.
It's not even them actually just they're ignoring the Afro piece, but they just assume that if you don't look like J Lo,
Exactly.
that you're not
Exactly.
like they all look different the same way black people all look different.
Right.
Like, it's not like one way that you look when you're Latino.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry. I know you're excited because of Sterling K. Brown.
I am.
Cody,
He's
sorry, you
amazing.
Cody over there.
You, Cody.
You, Cody
You,
over
Cody
there.
over there.
You.
Listen, I think he's wonderful. But I saw him say that Robert Downey Jr. is going to win supporting Oscar.
Wait,
Really?
who said that?
Who said that?
Sterling said that. He was like, and he literally, whoever he was with was like, no. And he was like, no, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. So he's fine with it.
Why does he think that?
I mean, I don't
Well,
know.
why
I
is
didn't
he
see
fine with it?
Oppenheimer, so I don't know nothing about it.
Oh,
But
well.
I mean, you know when you know. Sometimes.
I mean, I love Sterling
Yeah, I
K.
feel
Brown.
that.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
when you like, I know.
Or
okay to be
maybe
like-
assume because art is subjective. So him as an actor, he
true.
could have saw him in that and was like, "Oh, I think he deserves to win."
Yeah.
But whoever's voting could have been like, "No, your role was better." So we shall see.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Ugh, I can't. Y'all have to see American Fiction.
Okay,
do it.
so
What's attached
speaking
to my
of
butt
all
here?
of these amazing things, you guys
Yes.
all obviously saw the interview with Taraji on Gayle King's show.
Yes.
I feel like, did we have this conversation? I feel like we had
We
this
had it
conversation when we
offline.
went to Sephora.
We had it offline.
Somewhere.
We were
We
at
had it
Sephora.
offline.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was at home with COVID, but go
Yes.
ahead.
We're at home with COVID and the children.
No.
Yeah, when you were at
Yes.
Sephora. Don't you do this?
No, you had to work.
Seen the
No, we
pictures?
recorded. The day we went to Sephora, we recorded, and she
No,
had to
we
work.
Had a meeting. That was the meeting we had.
It was?
Yeah.
Aw, sha, sha, sha.
I
We-
still cry over this, over that week.
I wish she said shot, shot, shot.
I was wrong.
Sha, 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 sha.
I was wrong.
Sound bites.
Zoom in.
Save it.
I was wrong for once, one out of
For
thousand
once in my
times.
life.
Oh Lord! And then what did you say, Felicia?
I
What
was
were we
wrong.
talking about?
So you guys heard, I definitely know that y'all felt it. I felt it when she was just talking about feeling like she's not getting the pay that she deserves for
Yeah.
the work that she does as a creative. But I feel also, I mean, as a creative, as a Black woman, and to watch her sit there and look like she's in so much pain.
Yeah.
And then it sucks too, because I feel like when she was expressing herself, she was saying so much without saying all the
Yeah.
things, because you also want to protect yourself. But then I also
the people
don't
around
like,
you.
yeah, and I'm like, and I also don't like the perspective of people being like, just be happy to be there. Take what you can get.
I hate that.
That energy is like not my favorite, especially when you know other races within the same space, you know where they're getting paid, you
Yeah.
know? And I feel like it also goes on when Monique was saying these things, right?
Yeah.
And how do you guys, first of all, how do you guys feel about this out loud, even though I know, but let's tell the viewers. But then I also want to know, what would you guys tell yourself, what would you guys tell your younger self about just being a Black woman in this space as a creative, as an artist, as an entrepreneur? It's a big question. So who want to start?
I mean,
Tony.
I one of the things that stuck out to me too was like the whole like, oh, you know, you're a millionaire, like why are you sad
Yeah.
about it? And like the reality is, and she said some of this about like, you know, you get paid $10 million for something, and like 50% of that goes to the government, and then you got to pay your reps off the off the
Child.
full amount.
You coming off
And
at
your
least
hair
30%
and your makeup
off,
and your-
off
Yeah,
jump,
and
Yeah.
it's like
at least.
you have created or potentially created either a lifestyle, or there's people that you're taking care of. Like there's so many unknowns, but at the end of the day, like people deserve to like make money for
Yeah.
the work that they
Yes.
do. And so
Yeah.
it's very annoying to have folks really try to bring her down because she is in a certain tax bracket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she still is struggling in various ways, and you're also giving away a lot of it to reps and to the government, and it's just a lot. It's frustrating. And so I felt that.
You know
Not
what?
that I'm a millionaire.
Also, I think beyond that, so I studied acting for a long time. Do you know how much you have to lose yourself in those roles?
Yeah.
And you have to literally become somebody else for that amount of time?
Yep.
It's like, you can't put a price tag on that. And I think also if we operate from the space of like, money is, there's abundance of
Yeah.
money, you know?
Yeah.
So I do feel like the people who do have those comments are very much like, think of it from a scarcity mindset,
Yeah.
in my
Yes,
opinion.
100%.
But it's like, why does this person not just, this is her art.
Yeah.
Like she is entertaining a lot of people.
In
Yeah.
addition to,
You know?
to your point, right? Acting, entrepreneurship, probably even music. There's so much you have to turn down to take certain opportunities.
She's literally,
You're working
girl,
for 2 years on one movie.
committed.
On one
you
thing.
can't
You know?
take any other opportunities.
Yeah.
Nothing that conflicts.
Yeah.
You have to be confidential about it. Like your whole life becomes about this dedication
Yes.
to this space, and absolutely you should be compensated for it. And it, just like we said, like especially when I just feel like this is the thing. A lot of people, to your point, are like, oh, you're in a certain tax bracket. Oh, you're talking about you have it to do this. You have to. Certain comforts should be accommodated for people who have to put themselves into their art in that way.
Yeah.
You should be comfortably driven around. You should be safe. You
Yes.
should have a place to sleep well. You
Yup.
should not be having to think about how you're going to feed
gotta pay for
yourself or your family,
security.
security. Like all of these things actually have to be taken into account, and people don't actually consider the. And I understand the average person, it is out of their realm of like
Right.
comprehension,
Yeah.
right? But when you see a woman like Taraji, who has contributed so much
Girl.
throughout decades of work in various ways, she's impacted people. She's allowed also women of color to see themselves.
Yes.
You know, like this woman who was against odds, a single mom, graduating college, pursuing her dreams, didn't think she could, had so many people tell her that she couldn't, and come to this place. Yes, you have earned a certain level of, yes, I do deserve that. Yes, I do. Like I've put in my 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
I've
Baby,
put
I
in,
deserve.
you know what I mean?
She also helped people understand and see our culture from like a bigger lens. You know how
Yes.
you're saying it's like when you watch her in these roles, you feel her. I think I always think back to Taraji like baby boy days, like back,
Yeah.
and I'm
She
like,
was so good in
and
that.
she was saying she was like, there's so many, nobody wanted to give me a chance
Right.
because I was a single mom.
Right.
You know, I was this person that I was acting. You know, and it's like, but she acts in front of the world so the world can see who we are as Black people.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? It's
But
like,
also-
no, give her money, damn it. Shit.
Pay
Pissing me off.
what you owe me. No, I feel like also though it doesn't even matter. For me, the way my mind works, I'm like if someone asks for something and if that's what they believe that they deserve, then give it to them. I really feel like I was touched by that because I look at it like in a different perspective, even just as a woman, right? Like I'm a more outspoken woman and like say how I feel, da da da. And a lot
You
of
do?
times, girl, yeah. I like to tell people how I
Wait.
feel. Yes. I know I'm so shy, but like I
Ashley.
really
Sha.
I know. Shy. But no, but I feel like when this is like a perfect example though. Like when Chia and I first started dating, people felt like I didn't deserve to be with him because I think when people play a role, right? When they like follow a certain stigma or plan that things should be, right? Like let's just say like, okay, I went to college, so I feel like I should make this amount of money. Then an entrepreneur comes up, they're making more money, and people sometimes try to sun them like, oh no, you need to take my route. Like, nah, like you know what I mean? So that happens in all when you think about it, it happens in all of these areas where people you feel like when you said they should just be happy to be here, right? And people are like, nah, like I deserve certain things. Like I got that. Like I'm like, no, like even with Chia, people be like, well, why would you complain? He's so great because I still deserve certain things.
Absolutely.
And even though he's
But he is
great, I'm
great.
still going to push him
Yes.
to be better. And I'm great. And what I want is what I deserve. And I'm going to ask for it.
You know-
I'm not going to ever be happy to just be here. Like,
And
you know what I mean?
I want to bring it around to like the narrative of
Whoa.
like
That rain is
This
getting
rain-
so
rain is
aggressive.
aggressive.
I mean, frankly, we keep getting these California like weather, like scary weather
Advisories.
Can y'all
Yes,
hear
what's
that?
the
Yes.
word?
Oh, yeah. Like warning every
Is it
day. It's
picking
like
up on the
warnings.
mics?
Yes, warnings.
it is.
It's, on the
It's
mic.
aggressive.
Just everybody
aggressive.
listen.
The
Everybody,
people
see,
need
it
to
does
know.
rain in Southern California.
It
This
does.
okay?
is the
It be raining
ASMR
something.
relaxing
ASMR
edition
episode.
of the Mama
It's
Right.
like sound like whatever it's called.
We are going to be talking over the rain.
Any minute.
Shh.
We're already in
No,
the jungle.
something I want to bring up, to, like, which kind of ties into this, which is also an interesting thing about, you know, women and especially Black women in a public space,
Well, that
is
is
the
loud.
like angry Black woman narrative.
Yes.
That gets put on Black women anytime we are outspoken, stand up for ourselves, dispute something that's being given to us, will not accept something
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
don't feel. You know, we've talked about this. Amanda Seales, who I know in real life, people are, she's always, her tagline is, I'm not for everybody. And she doesn't care to be for everybody. She's going to be outspoken in what she believes and what she thinks is right. Monique recently has been out here talking about, y'all ain't been listening to me. I've been telling you they've been giving us a hard time. You know what I mean? Her feelings of, I got blackballed because I asked for what I wanted, and I asked for certain things.
Yeah.
So
Did you hear her point too? She was like, when Shannon Sharp was asking her, like, why do you think people responded more to Taraji than you? And she was like, because I'm fat and
Yeah, I'm
black.
fat and black,
And
yeah.
that is a real thing. People
Listen.
don't even feel like the way you look sometimes affects what you're asking for, how you present yourself. Like
Yep.
all of that, people don't have in their
people
mind.
don't understand that their biases are real, right?
It was that happy
That's
to be
it.
here.
Yeah, that's it.
That happy to be here. But I also think that so many people, when you listen to Amanda, Monique, Taraji, if you, as Black women, we're passionate. We are naturally, we're just passionate. The way
Yes.
that we talk, the way that.
Amanda put it on a t-shirt.
all
She
the
says,
things.
I'm not hostile, I'm passionate.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Made a
but
land-
if
brand of
you
t-shirts.
get past your little fragile ego for a moment or
Girl.
whatever it is and actually listen to what they're saying,
Yeah.
they're saying real shit. It's very real.
You know what my girlfriend said to me today? We were talking earlier on, and I was talking about a situation where I was like, I was direct, but I was nice about it. She was like, well, somebody's got to be mean. She said, because sometimes sometimes being nice doesn't get the job done.
No, it
for
don't.
real.
And I was like, oh,
Yep.
And she was just like, sometimes somebody has to be mean. You like,
Yep.
and it's not you're being mean. You have to just be more direct.
That's
about
why
it.
I always say I am not nice. I am kind.
Right.
Because people want you to be nice. And nice usually gets pushed
Yeah.
over. You get walked over. Like, I am a kind, good person.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you talk to me crazy.
Right.
I'm not going to be overly unnecessarily, like accommodating in a
Yeah.
way that, like, makes it so that I'm not being honored.
Honestly,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But I would like to point this out. It's not just, okay, because I know we're deviating from what we're supposed to be talking about, but real quickly, it's not just Black women. Because look at Love is Blind, right? And oh, girl, no, this is a perfect
Which
example.
one?
No,
Right.
listen, when he didn't pick her, because I think he didn't pick her because she had a child.
Absolutely.
But the girl, he also was like talking to the boys in a thing, and he said, and I was like, oh, some men, I'm not gonna say all men, but some men are so like weak. He was like, I like her a lot, but I don't want to pick her because she challenges me in a way that I've never been challenged for. And the other girl, when I said something to her, she was just more accommodating, and so I'm going to pick her. And I was like,
And now look at you.
But you know what though?
Jimmy.
That is a real thing.
Yes.
It is a real thing.
Yeah.
And also, I also listened to a podcast recently with Esther Perel and Jay Shetty. And
Love
first
her.
of all, if
Love
you have
both
not
of them.
listened to this podcast
Yeah.
episode, it is life-changing. Like this one particular episode with Esther Perel and Jay Shetty. They go through like the gamut of relationships and dynamics, and he's talking about his wife, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, like I tried to do all these things and she laughed it off and blah, blah, blah. And she chuckled and she's like, it sounds like your wife is kind of unimpressed by you. But she's like, but it's not that you're not impressive. She's like, she's unimpressed. She's like, which keeps you humble. And she's like, and it sounds like that's actually what you need.
Yeah.
You get to go out and speak to 40,000 people and be Jay Shetty, and then you come home and you have this woman that's like, okay, who are you, Jay, as a person? I'm
have
not
you
worried
done for
about
me
the
lately?
brand.
Yep.
And it's really true. And I think that that's actually something through line, relationship, business, whatever. You need people who literally are going to challenge the norm to
Yeah.
create change.
Yes.
I'm not just going to go along to rock because I'm happy to be here. Wait a second.
Girl.
That doesn't feel right. That's not meeting my expectations. Being direct about what you want or what you don't feel right, like cause a conversation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Please feel free to prove me wrong. But like literally not having these conversations is so important. You have to be willing to stand up for yourself. And
That
honestly,
ego stroke, too.
I'll
Yeah.
say, even just to kind of bring it back to what you brought up about like your 18-year-old self and like what
Yeah.
you would tell yourself. I think when I got into this business and I came into this world, like first of all, you guys know, like I grew up with a really strict mom. It was very about like, do what I say, like, you know, your opinions and stuff like that. Like you ain't earned a right to like have a voice yet. And so I feel like when I came into this industry, I was easily led by other people's narratives more so than like actually finding my own voice.
Yep.
Fortunately, I had people around me that were good people.
Yeah.
And I could trust them, but it didn't empower me to really stand up for myself, I guess, in a way, in certain regards. So even if something didn't feel right, I almost trusted somebody else's guide at like
Yeah.
21
Wow.
than my own voice.
Yeah.
Right?
Heck yeah.
And so
Heck yeah.
I used to be very much a people pleaser. Like, I don't want to rock the boat. Like, I don't want to seem difficult. I want to be liked for who I am. Like, all of these tendencies, you know, like, I'm a nice person. Like, okay. But also now I've come to this place where that was something that I had to find. So if I could tell my 18-year-old self something, it would have been absolutely trust your own voice and speak out.
Yeah.
Like, don't feel like you just have to be accommodating to keep the peace among everybody.
100%.
You know?
I
Yeah.
feel so. I moved to LA when I was 17. I was the first one to do anything that I'm doing, honestly, still within my family. And because of how we grew up with not a lot, I was definitely a happy to be here person
Yeah.
and got taken advantage in spaces where I probably definitely should have made more money or, you know, just been
Yeah.
on a different level. I personally didn't challenge that happy to be here probably not until I got to my 30s, to be honest. And then I also was tired of feeling like when I did speak up, it was a problem. And then I go and I create my own brand where I was like, I don't have to look for anybody's
That part.
validation
Yeah.
anymore. But I was just telling Ash this the other day, because this year I was like, I'm not taking, and I understand sometimes you have to negotiate, you have to compromise in
Yeah.
certain instances, right? But I know the influence that I have. I know my power. I know the work that I do behind closed doors and how I show up for the world and women that I'm speaking to on a day in and day out. I know my experience. And so I was telling Ash, this brand reached out recently, and I told her, I was like, how much should I ask for this? And she's like, well, don't go any lower than this. And I was like, okay. Like, I was nervous because anytime I've ever tried to challenge a rate, it's always like, yeah, no, they go the other way. And then I'm like, well, dang, I could have really used that because I'm an entrepreneur. And I remember Ash had, I don't even think that you probably do remember or don't, but there's been multiple times that I just listened to you talk and you talk about your deals and how you like stand on, this is what I want and I'm not going any lower than this. So when they reached out, I literally said a prayer and I was like, this ain't enough money. And I know, like, I'm convicted and I'm aware that this is not right. So I said, I'm sorry, I love this project. I want to be a part of it so bad, but I can't do this for this rate. And you want me to hold up for 4 months? I can't take no other deals. It goes kind of back to that Taraji conversation. And they're like, okay, well, give us some time to think about it. They came back and made me explain to them why I needed more money. Yes, and I first of all, I did a very emotional, this is a little trick that I do. I'm extremely emotional. and I will sometimes write an emotional email.
Oh, me too.
I wrote an emotional email and I put that shit straight through AI, and then it just cleared it all up for me.
Oh wow.
And
Become more robotic.
Oh, it's because I speak from emotion. I don't know how to turn
That's
that off,
smart.
and I'm not
Girl, I thought
interested
the
in turning it
trick was
off.
to send the emotional email.
No.
I thought you was going to say,
it's
and I
still-
save it, then go back and read it and edit it.
I know. So AI has a way of keeping the emotion there.
Yeah, it's a
but still-
computer.
but putting the, putting the professionalism
word,
to it.
yeah.
So literally, the lady writes back. She was like, "Thank you for explaining. Yes, we can put it up." 2 weeks later, they come back with what I asked for and more the original time from the
Wow.
original ask. And so I told Ashley, I was like, I have to tell you something. I finally did it. But I was like, no, I'm not happy to be here. You should be happy to be here. You should be happy that I'm playing with your damn toys with my children that are impactful, and I'm impactful.
The fact that you even had to please
Girl.
explain.
Girl.
Are you asking anyone else to explain? You guys approached me. Like,
Girl,
I just don't
I
understand.
hate when
and
they
then,
do
you know
that.
what's crazy? What's crazy is
Girl.
that when they come back in those situations and it's like, oh, we found it. Oh, really?
I said, you
Surprise,
better go get Sally
surprise.
Sue, Sarah,
Okay,
Brittany.
okay,
you know?
budget.
other perspective, and this is not defending them by any means, but because
All
I know.
right.
All right, it's
Devil.
already starting there.
No, I'm saying, listen, I'm not saying don't do what you did. I'm saying sometimes there's an advocate there who's like, I have to explain to my boss
Yeah.
why we need to pay you more, and I can tell them, well, Felicia's really great, but you just gave her, I don't know if this is true of this person, but like you just gave them the ammo that they need to say, listen, boss,
I agree
this
with
is why
that.
we need to do it, and this
I
is
agree with that.
speaking from someone
Okay.
who has a lot of friends
I
on
agree.
the brand side.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes somebody's really like, can you tell me more so that
Yeah.
I can use that?
Yeah.
You know
And
what
that's
I'm
what,
saying?
and that's
fair.
and that's the
Fair.
reason why
Sometimes
I
the
had to
person
make
reading
sure.
the email ain't the one telling you no for real.
No, 100%.
That's
And that's
true.
why I was like, I know that this person, because my first mind was like, I gotta explain this shit to you, girl. Like, you know, you see me with these 2 kids, and you know you see me.
No, because
but I know that
sometimes they have a budget though,
she's
and
not in
they'll-
charge of it.
Or
Exactly.
there's like they're paying you, and sometimes a white female influencer, and they have a budget of $100,000, and they're going to give you 10 and her 50. You know what I mean?
100%.
They're keeping the rest.
That's
so
why I
they
was
do
like,
that a
If you
lot.
have 4
Oh,
black
yeah,
women that
agencies
they
be
have a
doing that.
total of 50, and the question is, are we giving everybody the same amount? Or are we
Right.
giving you 20 and everybody else getting a little less? You
Yeah.
know, so there's a
Yeah.
lot to juggle.
Yeah,
This is true.
I'm telling you, that was my lesson of like, no, just stand on it. And
Yeah.
like I said, this has been a partnership I've been wanting for so long. That's why I was nervous of like, but I was like,
So
no.
that's what you would tell your 18-year-old self? Stand on it?
Yeah, I would definitely say, don't be happy
Use
to be here,
AI.
girl. Yeah, and use AI.
Listen, girl, in about 12 to 14 years, you're
Just-
going to have a system that's going to help you work all this shit
Right.
out. Just hang in there, 18-year-olds.
Yeah, girl. And I think also, I always felt the need, and I think this is a childhood thing. I always felt the need to over-explain myself on why this is, which is why I use the AI to help me break it down. But I would say to my 18-year-old self, don't over-explain. If you feel it in your spirit, you feel it in your heart, you need to lean and lead with that. And if the answer is no, baby, the answer is no. The next thing is right behind
You
there.
stole my 18-year-old self.
Sorry, girl. We twinsies.
Oh my God, I was going to say that.
Oh, my God.
Well, if you say it in that voice, and then it'll be sounding different.
bit
If I
different.
tell my 18-year-old self to stand on it
Stand on your
10 toes
business.
down.
at all times. No, I definitely, that's literally what I would tell myself. I think I always over-explain things because I'm such a logical person. I'm very emotional, but I'm a great compartmentalizer. So like, I'll be like real emotional in the beginning, and then I'll be like psych, and then I just go to like no emotion.
Capricorn.
But I know. But I feel like I've always felt the need to over-explain things and just over-explain myself, which can also often come off as like not being genuine. But like I'm like, if you know this, and this, then you'll understand me more.
That
Do you
part.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like I carry that into a lot of relationships and a lot of situations. But honestly, now that I'm about to be 40, oh my God, and I'm sitting here thinking about like, what is the biggest thing that I've learned or what I want my daughters to know? It would definitely be to say it one time and to trust your intuition.
Yes.
I have never been wrong about, I've never been wrong.
Except for this episode where she said she was wrong.
I was wrong one time
Today.
in 2024.
in 2024. It'll never happen again. Prior to that, I've never been wrong about what I felt or known to be true.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like about a person, about a situation, about what's best for me, and every single time that I did not listen to myself, I paid for that.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
paid for it dearly.
Every time.
100%.
Every single time. There's not been a single time. And so that is what I've learned as I've gotten older, is to always listen to myself and always trust myself.
Yeah.
Like God is always talking to me. I'm protected,
Yeah.
and trusting that I'm protected, and that even though if it doesn't feel right, or even if it feels scary, right? Or like it's something that I really want. Like the smallest thing, I remember my friend asked me to go to this party, and I kept saying like no, and then I let like FOMO kick in, right? Like I knew I shouldn't go, but then I was like, I should go. Everybody else is going, and so I went, and it was in a trap house, and it was crazy. You know, I lived in the hood. And so as soon as I got there, though, I was like, I started crying, because I was like, I'm going to die. This is not.
I'm gonna die.
Listen, those environments, the devil would just be playing. You know what I mean? It's a dark energy. I walked outside. I called my dad. I remember he came to pick me up. I was like 17, and I was like, Daddy, please come and get me. I don't want to be here. And I got in the car, and he's like, girl, why did you go? And I was like, I don't even know. But I just think about how, like when I left, someone got shot there, and I just think about if I would have stayed, and also like, why did I even go? But it's been like, even my ex-boyfriend, I remember he lied to me the first day I met him, and I knew, like, my 8 years later, though. Do you know what I mean? I stayed with him for 8 years because I just didn't love myself. Like, that's really the truth. Like, I was very insecure, and he was my first boyfriend, like, first guy who really paid a whole lot of attention to me, and he was so cute to me, and just like a rapper and da-da-da. So I was like, oh yeah, like, I want to be with him. You know what I mean? You said what?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, a rapper wants to be with me. He played ball. I was like, I got a little rapper basketball player.
Lord,
boy.
now,
I
I
got
done
that
had
sound
rappers
like
and basketball
girl.
players stay far away from me.
I know,
Anyways.
but back
we
then,
fine. We good on that.
that was my jam.
Right. And of course, it was all of our jams.
Yes, and he
We
was
all was
cute. And I was
attracted
like, oh
to
my God, yes. But I also knew, isn't it crazy? I knew that I should not be with him. But I still did it. And every single time every time there was always signs, and I just stayed because I felt like I could not have anything better, or that nothing better would ever come to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and something like, I know, this is what I always tell my daughter, like,
Happy to be here vibes.
girl,
That's
happy,
that energy.
yes,
Happy to be
Yeah.
here.
happy to be
have someone
here.
loving me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of trusting that the love that's for me would never hurt me, it would never make me feel sad in that way, it would never make me feel weak, it would never make me feel unworthy. Like, understanding that, like, it's okay to be alone if that means that you're safe and protected. That's
Right.
better than having someone with you.
Yep.
Right.
So I definitely would just tell my 18-year-old self, like, number one, you are worthy of everything that you want. You will attain everything you want as long as you trust yourself, love yourself, and respect yourself.
Boom.
For sure.
Okay,
Cody?
I'm gonna keep mine quick because y'all done already said all the things.
Sorry.
But it's a little bit of piggyback off that too, in terms of like, you'll be okay, right? Mine, because I actually really was gonna say what you said, Melanie. But the other thing is, trust in the timing of your life, as they say. Like, I was so pressed to do so many things.
Yep.
Early in my life,
Right.
18 to probably 30. And the reality is, like, everything that has happened to me has happened for me. Like, everything has happened for a reason. Like, relationships that I was meant to be in, and I mean friendship relationships to romantic, like, everything happened when it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And when I look back, like, that's one of the biggest things that I would say to anybody that's young is like it'll be okay.
Yeah.
You'll get where you want to go, or you're not even supposed to be there.
Yeah,
Girl.
that part.
And a pivot will happen that you don't even see coming.
Yeah.
And so that for sure is a big one for me.
Yes.
That's good.
These
I
are
like
really
that.
good ones.
That's
These
a
are
good one.
I love that we all had something individually that
Yeah.
was different. It's good.
Yeah. Well, let's get into a listener letter.
Oh,
Ain't quiet. Well, it means
Because
read
we
it.
love it when you guys write us.
love it.
Okay, so hit us in the DMs of the Mama's Den podcast on Instagram, but also write us at podcasts with an S at blacklove.com. What we got?
Okay, we got one. Hey, mamas, I have a question for the moms that are in a multicultural household. How do you teach your children to honor both of their cultures? I'm raising a biracial child. The father is no longer in the picture, but I want to make sure that my little one knows where they come from. But it's hard to do so since I have no communication with the father or his family. Appreciate any advice.
Google. Just kidding.
What?
What? She don't
that's
have the
on you.
relationship.
I was gonna say that too.
else she
Can
gonna
she
do?
research like the culture?
I mean,
God.
it's not a bad thing. It's
Yeah.
it's there. I mean, if the father is not in the picture, it's not like
You
you're
gotta
going to
find
get it
it
some
firsthand.
way.
Yeah.
Or maybe if there's an extension of the family that is involved,
Yeah.
that's one way to.
Well, she said
And I'm
no
not
to
even
that.
like trying to be funny, but there's like white moms in Jack and Jill.
Well, no. So I'll talk to you later about Jackie Jill because I was thinking about putting a mirror in it.
Okay, let's discuss.
No, I would say quickly. When Amira was in African dance, there were tons of white women who had adopted black children, or they were biracial. They would put their kids in African dance and things to learn their culture. And so the same thing that we do in our household, where we're 2-parent household, is the same thing you would do if it's a singular family home. Is you are intentional. I took my children to the temple. They would always go to all the Buddhist holiday things, and so you could do that without without your partner living there. Like Chia would take the kids to Kwanzaa, and he learns about Kwanzaa. He made him a Kanara from scratch with wood. I love that man. That's a good man. That's a good ass man. Sorry, but anyway, yes. And it's case in point, Chia learned the Muslim prayers. You just learn about it, Google, figure it out, buy tons of books, and teach your children. You can teach them and to put them in programs in neighborhoods where they'll be around other children that look like them. Easy.
And honestly, giving them the option to know about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it may be something that they really identify with based off of even how they look, whatever it is. Like, they might just be like, I've always, this side of my culture I resonate with. You never know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super intentional about cartoons, TV shows,
Oh,
books,
that part.
all of that.
Yes.
That reflect
Make
them
sure
and
they're
the way they
seeing
look.
themselves in all of their fullness.
1,000%.
Love that. Good question.
That was great. Concise.
Cody?
I like it.
I know that's right. Well, I think that's a wrap for today's show. Okay, you can find you can find us everywhere you get your podcasts, and you hopefully are also watching us on Black Love's YouTube page. And while you're doing your podcast listening and your YouTube watching, make sure you're leaving reviews. Make sure you're rating. Again, positive notes only. Thank you. JK.
No, we're not.
Not really.
No, seriously, like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's what my mom always said.
And Mama Donna is always right. Okay.
Yeah, she is.
And remember, there's a difference between being nice and kind.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Mama Sin Fam, and we will see you next week.
See ya when I see you, players.